on the first emergency Malagwa?
Well, at 7:30 I was very disappointed because the scratchings had been given and there was no scratchings in the Stradbroke, and then all of a sudden at 8 o'clock noise was out, so it brought a smile to my face, Simon.
I bet it did. Well, it's a big money race, and Alan Thomas has already spoken briefly about the track. The man we sent out there this morning was Simon Marshall to see what he thought.
Thanks, Simon. Well, the conditions at Eagle Farm are perfect here down on the track. The track is rated as fast and the rail is in the true position. Let's have a look at some scratchings. In race 1, number 14, Bennon's out. Race 2, number 1, Monica. Race 3, number 1, Lomax. And in race 4, number 2, Regal Chi Chi. Now, don't forget that number 16, Noise, is out of the Stradbroke, which paves the way for Malagwa. And also the last 3 in their Stradbroke, the emergencies, are out. Now, my tip in the Stradbroke is staging. And it's back to you, Simon.
Thanks very much, our resident former jockey, giving us a look at the track out there today. Now, let's take a look at the market for the Stradbroke Handicap this afternoon. Ken, what do you think of it?
Well, this is Michael Sullivan's market, and he's pretty sure that punters will take the 7-2 Al Mansour, and you've got 6-1 Malagwa and 7-1 Staging. Brian Ogilvie, the other big bookmaker up here, he told me that he expects plenty of money for Malagwa, and he thinks come post time the 2 favourites will be closer together.
OK, fellas, well, let's, outside of that market now, there's the second page, Confiscate, 100-1 Monet's Cove and Lomas. I think one of our boys is having a little bit on Monet's Cove for a little betting syndicate for the Wide World of Sports. None are too happy. Ken, let's go right through the field. Firstly, Chief De Beers, what do you think, fellas?
Well, he's never won here at Eagle Farm. Why is he going to start today?
Well, I suppose the White Alley in 56.5 probably takes care of him, but he did run second in the size and third in the Castlemaine here, so I don't think it's the track. I think the weight in the alley will probably beat him.
I think it's a long straight. I think he needs a short straight to win, and that's why Doomben suits him, because he sprints quick.
In short,
Ken,
we don't want to back him.
Ken, one of your favourite horses, Quick Flick.
Yeah, Quick Flick's not going as good as he was a couple of months ago. He ran second in this race last year with a bit of give in the ground. I don't think he's going well enough at the moment. He's got a bad alley as well.
Yeah, he'll have to go forward from out there and show no emotion. I'll probably go with him. I don't think he's going as well as he was.
I'll pass Quick Flick.
Poetic King?
Over the hill, a bit like me.
His run on the 10,000 was all right. I know the Freedman camp are happy with the way he's gone, but I'm a bit Ken's way. He's probably getting on a little bit, and he's a horse that's always had problems.
Well, there's plenty of support around for number 4, Al Mansour. He's 7-2 favourite at the moment.
Yeah, I thought his run here last week was sensational. The only slight knock with him, let's have a look at him here. He's the horse steaming home in the blue and yellow.
Well, I think he's got plenty of weight today, the 55.5 for a 3-year-old. I know he's won or been placed at weight for age in the Futurity Stakes.
It's only weight for age, Shane, and good class horses win these handicaps now.
Yeah, but still 55.5 kilos is a bit of weight when he's got to give 5 kilos to a horse I'm riding.
Alan, he's coming back from injury. He's backing up after a pretty tough run last week. That makes it a little more difficult for him.
Yeah, the worry about it last week, he had to hump 59, you know, and they ran just under 1.9. That was the hard part. But, you know, the horse has done everything right this week. We caught up with Bruce McLaughlin. He couldn't be more happier with him, even though he's got to back up after the hard run. Well, Bruce, can he back up?
Well, I feel he can. He backed up 3 weeks in a row last year. It's not basically the preparation I would have ideally liked to have had for the horse, but he had 3 runs in a row as a 2-year-old, but he had a good preparation into that. He had a little setback, as you know, and I've had to change things around, but everything seems to have fallen into place, and he has thrived, but I would have preferred to have his run a week before. But I can only say this week he hasn't left a grain, and he's done an absolute treat, and I can only hope that he does back up, and I feel he will, knowing the horse.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of people will want him to back up, I can assure you. Alan, number 5, Happy Star.
No, his form's only been fair since he's been here, and he's got a wide gate. I'll be passing on him.
Shane, the Larry Cassidy ridden Confiscate.
Yeah, I rode Confiscate the other day. It was a bad barrier, and he's got a bad barrier again today. He got caught very wide the other day. It wasn't too bad a run, but he needs luck from the barrier.
Well, the experienced horse in the field monopolised, Ken.
Yeah, but he hasn't won in Australia since September 1995. That's nearly 3 years ago. Now, it was a great run in the 10,000 here a month back. Also in this watch Staging, who finishes second. But look, he's always running onto my way of thinking monopolised. I concede him a chance, but he's rising 8-year-old. 3 years since he's won here. I couldn't put my money on him.
I think if he gets the breaks, he's got a great chance. He's going to get back in a fast run race.
Alan?
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got a good chance. He did run third in this race 2 years ago to Dana Singer, and I think his trainer Graham Begg gives him a chance. That's what he had to say.
Graham, Monopolised ran third in this race 2 years ago. Is he in the same sort of fettle now? Yeah, Alan, you know, we're very, very pleased with the horse, the way he's going. You know, the horse has been performing very, very well this season, and, you know, we're expecting the horse to run very, very well. The thing is with the horse, everyone's got to remember, he's getting back on a good track here at Eagle Farm on Saturday. He's passed 3 runs of both. They've all been on heavy tracks, and, you know, the horse is certainly at his best on top of the ground going.
Yes, he'll certainly be on top of the ground today. A fast track here at Eagle Farm. Let's fast track the Kidman's Cove. I think we could probably fast track through him, couldn't we?
Yeah, forget him. Blazing Steel's got a good chance, though, the next horse along. Blazing Steel's run behind Chief De Beers. Watch the way he gets home. He really pulled a lot of ground off Chief De Beers, and Eagle Farm will suit him. He's a very, very smart horse. Goes well in Brisbane. I reckon he's got a great chance.
Kent hasn't won a race since he won a midweek flying at Doomben over 1,000 metres 14 months ago, and that does worry you.
You're tipping Monopolise. He's the 3 years lapse between his last win here.
Alan, you caught up with Billy Mitchell and had a yarn to him about Blazing Steel.
Yeah, and I think it's getting pretty much D-Day for Blazing Steel. This is what Bill had to say.
Well, Bill, I guess this is Blazing Steel's chance.
Looks to be. The weather's been good, and he's really in good shape, so plenty of speed in the race. He's drawn nicely. It just looks like a really, everything looks to be in place for him.
Is he a trick horse?
He's not a bad horse. He's probably raced, you know, he gets back a bit, but no, I think it's just a matter of when he's going to win a big one.
Right. And this could be it.
This could be it for sure. He's in great shape, and look, he'll win one. You know, he goes too well. I mean, the only 2 runs he's had on good tracks this time were the Rider and 2 weeks ago at Doomben, and you know, he had 3 runs in between on wet tracks, which didn't suit him. I mean, if you go to his Rider form and last week's form, coming into this race with 52.5, I mean, he's a real chance.
Well, one of the key horses in the Stradbroke today has shown no emotion. He'll probably be the speed in the race. He's a fast horse. Whether he can run the distance, I guess, is problematical. But his trainer, Tony Noonan, has been very happy with what he's done since he's been here.
Tony, first question, can he run 1,400?
Yeah, Alan, look, the horse hasn't had a lot of starts at the 1,400, and realistically, I suppose people are entitled to have some doubt at him, but the horse's pedigree suggests he will. The sires, he went up to 1,800 in good company overseas, and the mare's actually half-sister to Slanchivar, which won the Oak. So, you know, it's a case of just switching the horse off, and I don't have any doubt that Stephen will be capable of doing that, and if that's the case, I'm confident he'll run the 14.
Now, the way he went in the Angus Brook, and the fact he's got 19 alley over a longer distance, are you going to be able to ride the horse off the speed, or will he just ping and go?
I'd like to be certain of it. I'm as confident as I can be that he won't, because we've trialled the horse at home, we've worked the horse at home with other horses and back in the pack, and you know, if you switch him off, he'll switch off. He's worked the other day at Caloundra. He worked with a mate and was happy to have the mate lead him up, and he just balanced up and finished off his race. And trial going into the Ascot Vale, he was back last in the trial and just swamped him. So he's not a horse. He's just got an enormous cruising speed, and in his races up to this date, you know, we would have been mad not to take advantage of that. But we'll just see how the race pans out. Steve's experience, you know, he's had an enormous record in this race, and you know, I think he was pretty happy with the horse this morning.
Right. Reverse way of going.
Won't be a worry.
Shane, do you think they'll have to lead on him from out there?
He's got to go forward. He'll be in the first 2 or 3. I think he will lead. He went that fast the other day in the Angus Brook. I think he'll hit a brick wall at the 200.
Both that win in Adelaide and his main win in Melbourne were in fields of 7 where he could dominate. He's not going to be able to dominate in the pressure of a big field. I doubt him.
Anyone give Mono's Cove a chance?
No.
And Ken, you've spoken fondly of staging?
Yeah, staging hasn't run for 4 weeks, but she's got an exceptionally good trainer in Clary Connors, and like she protested in the Doomben 10,000. She's quite well weighted. She's a very smart filly, and I've got her right up there in the main chances.
Yes, well, actually, Shane, just hold on there. We've got to get to a break, and as we go to the break, let's hear from Clary Connors and his thoughts on staging.
Clary, what level of fitness is staging at?
Alan, level of fitness. I would really love another gallop under my belt. Blood count's all right. She had a fairly hard gallop here on Tuesday morning. Pulled up fairly, you know, pulled up really well. And after thoughts, if you think about it, did she work hard enough, because she worked too easy, and it was good. So, and, you know, it's hard to say. It's very hard to say. The horse herself is great, done well, blood's right, and she worked easy and worked fast on Tuesday morning. So we're just hoping. We can't do any more what we've done.
Right. So the last 100 may be a query?
Maybe a query, yeah.
Badly take Fragment out with it. Scandinavia is on its inside. Got a bit of a bump there when Excel Pilot shifted ground and a point went to the front. Prime Ruler down on the inside. It's a point out wide the leader. And trying hard Scandinavia. A point is hanging on. Scandinavia is coming quickly, and so is Toledo. Here they go. Toledo! Toledo got there. Don't know.
So that was Toledo winning the Honda Stakes in Adelaide over 1,100 metres at Group 3 level. Ken, is there a question mark over Toledo running the 1,400?
I think you'll probably get it. He's run a few good races, even though he hasn't won at it. But I think with Toledo, having watched him plenty of times in Sydney, I think he goes better anti-clockwise than he does clockwise, and I'd prefer to back him in Melbourne or Adelaide. He's very well weighted. He meets on one weight line. He's got 9 kilos on El Mansour, going back to the Lynn Lithgow Stakes at Flemington.
Talking of weight, Zuccarino, you've got a little theory behind him,
Well, Zuccarino meets El Mansour 8 kilos better when they met in the Futurity. El Mansour beat him home 2, and Zuccarino meets him 8 kilos better. Now, I know weights can be traps, but 8 kilos is a lot, but you just don't see Zuccarino mixing with El Mansour.
He hasn't had a run for a while, so it'll be interesting.
As I told Alan before we come on air, I will get a fair dingham job if he wins.
I'll make sure you do.
So, we haven't got time to argue. Galactic Valley, Alan?
He's my tip for the race, Galactic Valley. His wins in Sydney with big weights have been terrific. I know a lot of people think he's a wet tracker, but he does hold 2 track records. There'll be a stack of speed on. He's been winning with 56 and 58s. He drops to 51, and I think he can swoosh down the outside.
Okay, to move through these a little quicker, 17, 18. Now, also the with Galactic Valley, I nearly brushed over it. Ken Forge you caught up with?
Yeah, the trainer of Galactic Valley, and he's pretty confident he'll win the race.
Ken, you think the horse can win this race, don't you?
Well, Al, I don't want to sound like a mug there, but I never come up all this way to run second. I think the horse is a really good, he's a well-weighted chance in the race. He's got a good barrier. There'll be a mile of pace on up front. My horse will be out the back, but that's where he always races. And to answer your question, yeah, I think he can win the race.
There's a lot of thought to the fact that he's probably a wet tracker, but you disagree with that, don't you?
Well, I do. For the fact is that it's a load of crap as far as I'm concerned, because the horse holds two track records on top of the ground. But then again, Al, good horses handle any going. You know, I mean good horses handle any going, and he's just as good on top of the ground as he is in the wet.
Yeah, it's a confident trainer there. Now, fellas, 17, 18, 19, Super Danes, City Hall, Lomas, any fancies amongst them?
Well, City Hall's probably the best of them, and he meets El Mansour worse for getting beaten by him last week. I don't like any of them.
Place chance best, City Hall.
Number 20, Snow Beauty from the Bart Cummings camp. You can't underestimate Bart.
Well, you can underestimate the filly, though.
Yeah. I guess you couldn't let a Stradbroke go by without hearing from the master. He won it last year. He's got Snow Beauty in it again this year.
Bart, you've got a 3-year-old filly, Snow Beauty, in the Stradbroke. We're looking at another Dane Ripper.
Well, she's bred well, looks well, and she's working very well. So just hoping that she's good enough to be competitive. I think she is, really. She's going on very well.
And the run at Doomben was good?
Yeah, they run a class record, I understand, and yeah, she looked all right that day. Needed the run, probably, and with the natural improvement from there, she could be competitive.
Yes, you can't underestimate Bart Cummings, and you can't underestimate Shane Dye either. You've snuck into the field on Malagwa. How confident are you?
I'm very confident. I think he's the horse to beat. This is him getting home to General Nadam. You see the grey horse, you watch him charge home. I thought his run this day was better than General Nadam's. If he gets any luck in the race, he'll just be winning. I've got no doubt. I think he's the class horse in the race.
Ken, what do you fancy?
Shane can't sway me. I like El Mansour to beat Staging and Blazing Seal.
Alan?
I like Galactic Valley. I think he's a good each-way chance. Staging, El Mansour, the dangers.
And Shane?
I think my horse is the horse to beat.
And myself, El Mansour, Blazing Steel, and I'm throwing Happy Star at big each-way odds in there. I hope it gets home for you. We're just going to have a quick break here on The Racing Show.
Spurs first for home, 300 metres to go from Buckridge. He left the fence, Niatas got through, Pelaya came at them, and here's Dodge. Oh, he's chimed in quickly, Dodge. Spying next from Count Scenario at the 200 metres mark. Niatas joined by Dodge. Then came Pelaya, spying next on the outside, but Dodge went to the lead with 50 metres to go. Niatas battling hard on the fence, but Dodge in front, close to home, and Dodge beat Niatas tight for third.
He's done extremely well, this horse, since he won the Rough Habit Plate 2 weeks ago, and cannot fault him after his work this morning. The horse has absolutely bloomed. Hopefully we can get an Ellie today, Alan. That will really make the nice and cosy run there, but I can't fault the horse at all, and John's very happy with him. He popped up the other day to have a look at him, and he's gone ahead in the right stages.
Yes, the Queensland Derby is another one of the big races on here at Eagle Farm this afternoon, and Dodge is the favourite, Ken, at 9-2.
Yeah, got to be a query on him at the distance, but he's still favourite and he'll run a good race. He's at 9-2, 6 is Zackaleen, 7 Bluebird the Word, Masking and Melora. And I actually like Masking. I thought his run last Saturday when he ran in the Stayers Cup at Rosehill. Now, here he comes down the outside. You watch him hang in. Now, that's Stony Bay in front. I just ask, Stony Bay's one from Nazareth, a Brisbane Cup candidate. How would these horses in the Derby have gone in this race? I don't think they could have run as good a race as Masking. Now, look, he was nearly going to swamp Stony Bay here. He did duck him bad just at the desk, and Moses had to stop riding him. He's run third, but he can stay. He'd won at 2,400 metres before that, and I reckon he's a horse that'll get right to the line. Now, the Queensland Oaks is the other good lead-up race to the Derby. Shane, you might like to comment here, having ridden the winner.
Yeah, you'll see Zackaleen just in behind the one off the fence in the white cap coming through. She had a lovely run this day. The horse back with the pinky black coming through, one off the fence, is Mick Dipman's mount, Sister Teresa. It was quite unlucky. Now, it's got a great chance today. Melora's in front. She's another Derby contender. I just feel there were too many unlucky runners in this race, Ken. There were a lot of good runs. Now, Zackaleen's got a great chance today. There's no doubt about that, but I think the Colts might have it on the fillies.
They all finished too close together, the fillies. I don't like them, but one colt who's certainly got a chance is Bluebird the Word, and nice run in the O'Shea Stakes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. You know, these are top horses he was racing. You'll pick him up in the brown and gold colours. He went to the front when they turned out of the straight. He battled home hard. I mean, Intergay sprinted quickly, and then Sapio got home, and Bluebird the Word's whacking away on the fence just behind the place getters, and you'll see Cronus getting home okay. But Bluebird the Word battled very hard over the final part, and when he drops back to his own age group today, he's going to find it a lot different. There's 2 New Zealand horses in the race, Bluebird the Word and Aggie's Heart, trained by John Wheeler and Michael Moroney. This is what they had to say about their respective charges.
Well, John, on the horses running the O'Shea Stakes, you'd have to give him a good chance winning this Derby.
It was a pretty good effort, really, considering he led all the way and it's not his natural way of racing. So, yeah, we're going into the Derby fairly confident, but it's a top field and, you know, he's got to have all the breaks, I guess.
Well, you know he can run the trip on his New Zealand Derby form behind Zonda.
That's right, he can run the trip. Zonda soundly beat him, though, in the New Zealand Derby, so I wouldn't sort of talk that up too much. The field is actually relatively poor behind Bluebird the Word. Zonda was dominant, but, yeah, he's a pretty good horse, and he's going to develop into the top horse. I'd love to see him win the Derby because he's got a lot ahead of him.
Michael Aggie's Heart's come here with a few raps on him. Will he live up to them? That's the first question.
Yeah, well, I hope he will do, Alan. He's certainly a lovely horse. He's had a bit of a hard way to get here, being he sort of raced in New Zealand and flew to Melbourne. We were a little bit worried about the stake money clause here, so he had to win a little bit of money on the way through. I mentioned to the owners that we would nominate for the Queensland Derby, and if he happened to go well enough in Melbourne, that we'd fly up. So that's what we've done, but he just has, you know, it's a hard way of getting here, but he seems to have coped with that, and he's a natural stayer, so he's so hasn't really been tried in the better class, but we're just keeping our fingers crossed he's up to it.
Very astute man, Greg Charles to ride. Very strong push for this horse today, Aggie's Heart.
Shane, in the Derby, you're on Spying.
Got a great chance. His run the other day was very, very good behind Dodge. He had a fall about 5 starts ago at Rosehill and he lost his confidence. His last 2 starts, his confidence back. He's one of the chances in the race.
Now, Alan, you're finished with us for the day. You're going to go and have a hardy day of calling race.
To go and see what I can do, Simon.
Good on you. All the very best. And we'll take a short break on the racing show. And as we do, let's see if we can find us some winners from our resident ex-jockeys, Simon Marshall and Darren Beedman.
Thanks, Simon. Well, I've got my partner in crime here, Darren, and we had a fantastic weekend on the punt once again last week.
It was a screamer, wasn't it?
A couple of $15 got up, $9 in Sydney.
Yep, it was a good day.
We're ready to roll again. We're racing at Flemington today. Let's have a look at track conditions. Now, the track is rated as good. We've had a lot of rain this morning, though. Don't be surprised if there's a downgrade. The rail is out 10 metres. Here are my track work best. From Flemington, race 4, number 10, Umpire. And race 7, number 1, Perfect Bound. Don't be surprised if you see him up here in the Tattersalls Cup in 2 weeks' time. Now, Caulfield, race 1, number 7, Jonesy's Flyer. Can jump very well. And in race 6, number 5, Yala's Star. Should be very hard to beat today. Now, Cranbourne, race 4, number 8, Belzig. Won its last 2 for Wendy Kelly, new trainer at Cranbourne, going very well. From race 8, number 5, Video Fan. And my each way best comes in race 8, number 1, Sir Boom. And my best is number 2, race 2, sorry, number 7, Portland Pirate from the Lee Friedman stable. Now, Darren, what's happening in Sydney?
Well, mate, it's a little bit overcast down there, and our track work specials from Randwick. In race 4, number 4, Russet Royale, a last start winner. And at race 5, number 2, Captain Daniels, Jimmy Cassidy Mount, also a last start winner. And in race 6, number 9, Antiquity. And from Warwick Farm, Docky Holiday is mentioned in race 6, number 3, Energize, and race 7, number 3, Bargain. A good last start second, and it's got its foot on the till. Now, my best, I'm heading north up here in Eagle Farm. In race 2, number 6, Brittany Miss. And in race 3, number 3, Jewel Photon. Has had a trial since its last start and only just got beaten, which is pretty encouraging.
Well, Darren, the feature events today, the Derby and the Stradbroke. And the Derby I'd like to be on spying.
Well, I'm going to stick with the Ingham Strength on Dodge.
And what about the Stradbroke handicap?
Well, mate, it's been well publicised, monopolised.
I'm sticking with staging. We'll throw to a break on the racing show and be back with more.
Action in the first here at Eagle Farm this afternoon. There's some great racing ahead of us. Let's have a look at the best bets for the panel this afternoon. Kenny likes Jewel Photon. Race 3 at Eagle Farm, number 3. El Mansour for myself, and Johnny Tapp all the way from Sydney likes Donald. And Kenny, your Wide World of Sports tips for the Savo.
Yeah, we're doing 5 races on the Wide World of Sports, including races 5, 6 and 7 from Brisbane, where I like our Silky Oak in the Stakes, Masking in the Derby, and I agree with you, Simon, El Mansour in the Stratty. We're doing the June Stakes from Sydney, in which I like Kidlat, and the Provincial Plate from Flemington, in which I like the ex-Sydney sider, Rembetica.
Well, fellas, now there we are. On Monday, we have the Winter Carnival continuing here. Some great races coming to you. The highlight being the Wide World of Sports Brisbane Cup. It will be John Tapp's last Group 1 call before he hangs up the binoculars and well, isn't calling anymore. Fellas, thanks for your company. All the best this afternoon. Let's hope we make a quid. Shane, safe riding. Good luck. And we look forward to seeing you again soon on The Racing Show.